Assassin's Creed, a franchise that takes you through historical theme parks through the eyes of not-so-historical characters doing not-so-historical things.
Leonardo expects me to maneuver these. No instructions, of course.
So of course, when Ubisoft decided to use someone from history as a main character for Assassin's Creed Shadows, fans were obviously excited. Yeah, people weren't happy. Well, not all people were unhappy. A lot of people that probably aren't a fan of Assassin's Creed, or games in general, or even black people.
Fishy, why are we talking about black people? I thought this was a video about Assassin's Creed.
Oh, right. The historical character I mentioned a second ago is none other than Yasuke the Black Samurai. Much is left unknown regarding Yasuke's origins. He is believed to be from Africa, with the good possibility of being born in Ethiopia, Mozambique, or South Sudan. It is also uncertain whether Yasuke left Africa as a slave, with some historians believing it could be possible he left as a mercenary. What is known is that Yasuke arrived in Japan in 1579 with an Italian Jesuit missionary. In 1581, Yasuke traveled to Kyoto and met Oda Nobunaga, a daimyo in feudal Japan who was set on unifying the country. Nobunaga took a great liking to Yasuke due to his size and skin color. It is assumed that Yasuke knew Japanese well enough to communicate, and it is also believed that he was able to prove to Nobunaga that he was a capable warrior. With all of this, Nobunaga quickly arranged for Yasuke to become his retainer. A vassal in feudal Japan, usually a samurai providing military services, and served under Nobunaga for roughly a year before Nobunaga was betrayed by his general and committed seppuku, a form of ritual suicide. Yasuke then went on to serve Oda Nobutada, Nobunaga's son, immediately after, but he was defeated by Akechi Mitsuhide. Nobunaga's life ended with him committing seppuku. Yasuke was then escorted out of Japan by Mitsuhide's men in 1582. And those are the facts. Yasuke being Nobunaga's retainer more than likely means he was present in battles, especially since Nobunaga liked to show Yasuke off as a symbol of power, but it is unknown whether Yasuke actually participated in these battles. That does not mean he wasn't a samurai. What that means is his involvement in Nobunaga's battles are just unknown and undocumented. However, that is enough for people to claim that Assassin's Creed Shadows is historically inaccurate by portraying Yasuke as a samurai who was front and center in Nobunaga's campaign. People are comparing the historical inaccuracy of Assassin's Creed Shadows to the rest of the Assassin's Creed series, claiming that Ubisoft used to be the pinnacle of accuracy, and how Yasuke's inclusions are disrespectful to Japan's history. In doing so, they are choosing to ignore the countless examples of blatant inaccuracy shown in every single Assassin's Creed game. I see this as completely disingenuous, showing how Yasuke was in fact in Japan under Nobunaga as a samurai. There weren't tanks in 1500s Rome. There weren't gods to fight in Norway and England. Fuck it, there weren't assassins going around fighting and assassinating historical figures. But that's what makes the games fun. Taking locations, people, and events from history and adding completely absurd and interesting twists on them is what makes Assassin's Creed Assassin's Creed. I don't know one person who would play Assassin's Creed if it was one-to-one with history. That shit would be boring. I'm gonna go running from rooftops with a hidden blade dive bombing on people. I want to fist fight the Pope and talk to aliens who are actually talking to my descendants in the future. It's a bit confusing. And I want to play as a character whose history is so vague and up for interpretation that anybody could do anything with this character and we won't know for sure what is true. People are also claiming that Yasuke's inclusion to Assassin's Creed Shadows is taking away Japanese representation in a game set in Japan, claiming that this is cultural appropriation and inclusivity for the sake of inclusivity. The fact that these anti-woke creators and their followers are acting like they care about Japanese representation is appalling. They only care because there is a male black character. This is shown to be true by how they completely ignore the Japanese female character, Naoe. If Yasuke was a white or Japanese man, this wouldn't be a conversation. And of course, they will deny this until they are in a coffin. And it's not like Japanese men don't have representation in video games. Look at Yakuza, Sekiro, Ghost of Tsushima, Persona, just for an example. No one seemed to have a problem with Neo having William Adams, a white guy, as the main character. Yasuke is even in that game as a boss, which to me doesn't seem very historically accurate. Now, if Yasuke was the only playable character, I would agree that it would be a bit weird to have him as the main character and not an original Japanese assassin, but that's not what we got. We got Yasuke and Naoe, a black man and a Japanese woman. With all of that being said, any inaccuracies with how the game presents culture, architecture, weapons, and clothing is a completely separate and valid issue to have. The same goes for the absurd pricing and the fact that it is open to pre-order before any gameplay has even been shown to the community. Either way, I'm excited to play nonetheless, and I'm hoping Yasuke and Naoe's characters are as interesting and badass to play as I'm anticipating them to be. Anyways, let me know what you think. Feel free to have at it in the comments. See ya.
Where have you been? Been searching all along, confessing while alone.